Hi. A sensation that can only be described when something truly magical or epic happens. But how does one create hype? How does one react to it? Those questions remain unanswered. Until today. So grab your detective hat, it's time for research. You can find this phenomenon in all sorts of video games. Mostly ones with intense fights, a dramatic story, or a crazy boss fight. But why do we feel this way? Well, I have thought about it and I've come to a conclusion. Let's take Breath of the Wild for an example. At some point in the timeline, you'll fight these huge beasts called Titans. I personally find that these fights are always the best. You see, here are some factors that make these fights feel hype. 1. The underdog factor. To start off, these monsters are extremely big, and our brains automatically tell us that big equals strong. Also, with most NPCs you talk to, they describe the Titans as these unstoppable beasts that could kill you in under 5 seconds. That's the underdog factor. It's hype because you're fighting against someone that is way bigger and stronger than you, and nobody actually expects you to do well against it. That's why it's hype when you actually win. But why aren't all strong monsters causing hype? Well, that's where part 2 comes in. The repeated factor. In these beasts are way stronger monsters, created by the final boss himself. But why do I feel so empty when I defeat them? There's little to no hype. This is the repeated factor. The arguably weaker Titans get constantly mentioned in the story, portraying them as untouchable gods. But the stronger monsters get little to no introduction. You only get 1 or 2 lines of text saying how strong they are and how they attack. They feel irrelevant to the story even though they are as important as the Titans. So when you play a game and you feel hyped up, this is mostly because of good storytelling or cinematic fights. Everyone loves a bit of rivalry in sports, or even in esports. But why do you also feel hype in this? There isn't any storytelling involved, and there are certainly no boss fights. Well, here's where the third factor comes in: emotional attachment. If we take MCC for an example, it's already pretty clear what I mean. When this tournament kicks off, all the Twitch viewers go to their favorite streamer and support their teams through the event. Seeing someone you are somewhat attached to succeeding always satisfies and brings plenty of hype. There is also another factor: non-protagonist character. This is probably the decisive factor in tournaments. It basically means you aren't guaranteed to win. There is a possibility you can actually lose, and that's also what makes the win so awesome. It was never guaranteed that your favorite streamer won. It was through skill, teamwork and luck. Seeing these 3 elements come together so nicely always gives a good event. Even if you can't lose, most fiction creators just write their story so amazingly that it compensates for the lack of that completely. And if you have a lack of storytelling, you can just make the villain more scary or add super awesome fights. But after all, hype can still be found everywhere. It's kind of unexplainable. Even though I tried finding every way that brought me excitement, I still think I haven't scratched the surface. Maybe we should all just be happy that this amazing emotion exists, and enjoy it while doing our favorite activities. A storm is forming. I should have seen this coming. I brought everyone into this mess, and now I'll have to face the consequences. Here goes nothing.